Good evening, and welcome to the Ferris State University Admitted Student Webcast. First of all, congratulations on being accepted for the fall semester of 2014. We're so excited for you to join us here on our campus and become a part of the campus community. We're going to start today's event by starting with our introductions. So we'll introduce ourselves and the departments that we represent. My name is Jeff Stewart. I'm an admissions recruiter here at Ferris and also work with NCAA eligibility. But more importantly, I'm actually an alumnus of the university. So I have a lot of the passion of a student as well as an employee here on our campus. So Carla, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Carla Erlewine, and I'm in the financial aid office. I've been a financial aid advisor for 21 years, so I bring a wealth of experience to this conversation tonight. I'm also a Ferris alumnus, so hopefully we can answer all your questions tonight.
I'm Noah Moss. I'm a student intern that works at the Center for Leadership Activities and Career Services, and I want to inform you about different activities you can have to stay involved on campus while you're here.
And hello everyone, my name is Byron Terrell Williams. I'm here on behalf of the Office of Housing and Residence Life. I am also a recent sort of graduate, and I have tons of experience with student leadership, and so I can't wait to talk to you all.
Perfect. So we're going to start today to kind of explain how the event works. We're going to start with presentations from each of our departments. So I'll be presenting about admissions and what's that next step in the enrollment process for you, making sure that you stay on top of deadlines and different things, and kind of giving you some tips on how to prepare for the fall semester. We'll then move into Carla, where she'll be talking about financial aid and going through that whole process with the FAFSA application and accepting your award offer and different things like that. Noah will be talking about Center for Leadership and Activities and Career Services and about the exciting things that you have to look forward to as an incoming student and as a student of Ferris State University. And then we'll have Byron that's going to be talking about housing, what you need to do to prepare for housing, and the exciting things that happen when you're living here on campus. Throughout the whole presentation, please feel free to ask any questions that you have. We're really here to answer your questions, so we'd love for you to ask them in the amount of time that we have. We'll try to get to as many as possible throughout the presentation. We'll be kind of pausing if we have questions that pop up, so feel free to type those in at any point that you may have them throughout the presentation. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get things started. Again, congratulations from the Office of Admissions. We really want to congratulate you on being admitted. We're so excited for you to start your future here with us and excited for you to become a Bulldog. There's a lot of great things that come with being a Bulldog, as you'll hear today, and the different activities that our students participate in, and the different initiatives that they get involved with. There's a lot of excitement coming onto campus, or coming across campus right now, as we're moving into or starting to prepare to move into a new academic year. Actually, we're moving into a new semester starting in January, and then the new academic year starting on August 25th. In fact, that's actually only 266 days away. So if you're as excited as I am about a new academic year, you have 266 days. The first day of fall classes is actually on Monday, August 25th. So that's one great thing that you can put on your calendar already, is circling that date, that's the first day you'll start your classes. Byron, when is move-in day? Do you have that?
I do not know for sure.
Okay, it's usually a couple days before though, right? So that Wednesday or Thursday before is typically when students will start moving in onto campus. So that's something to look forward to as well, but you'll receive more information on that as we get closer to that date. Of course, with the excitement of being accepted, there also comes a lot of nervousness and hesitation as far as what you need to be doing to prepare, what kind of deadlines may be approaching, what documents you need to be submitting. So what we've done for you to assist with that whole process, and I'm hoping this is something that you guys have gone out to and have utilized thus far, but if you haven't, this is something I really encourage you to start doing and starting to get experience with, and that's our newly accepted students page. To find that, you just go to our Ferris homepage. So if you look on the screen there, I have a screen or a snapshot of our Ferris homepage. You're going to select the admissions link at the top left corner of the screen. Followed by that, you can actually select, this will take you to our admissions page, where there are a lot of different things in there that you can kind of click through and get familiar with. But you're going to want to select the newly accepted students page on that website. Now this will bring you to a new page altogether, and this is where it has all the different information as far as what you need to be working on, what you need to be focusing on, different documentation that you need to be completing. So you'll want to spend some time going through this newly accepted students page and really clicking through those different links to make sure that you're on top of the different things. It does cover areas such as housing, financial aid, the Brookham Health Center, signing up for orientation. So it's going to have you go through a lot of different links and really utilize that because it's available to you to kind of work your way through or work your way down as you're scrolling through the screen, making sure that you're completing all the tasks and staying on top of it as according to deadlines that may be approaching. One of the first things that we really encourage you to do, and I hope a lot of you have done this already, is to log into your MyFsu Portal. Now this is something that's going to be it's a very useful tool for you now, and it's going to be something you can continue to use as you move into your academic career and start taking classes here at Ferris. So it's very important that you're starting to get into that habit and logging into it weekly. Now on that newly accepted students page, it's actually going to walk you through the steps of signing up for that MyFsu Portal. So if you haven't done so, use that link and go through those different steps in signing up for that portal so that you can start getting familiar with it and acclimated. But this too is actually going to have a lot of important information for you to cover, such as financial aid. This is actually where, and Carla will touch on this, but this is where you're going to be doing a lot of your financial aid process. There's information about housing where you're going to actually sign up for housing and find out different information about housing. Different areas such as where you're going to be registering for your classes and where you're going to be completing a lot of your classwork. Noah and Byron can probably attest to this, that you're going to actually be utilizing your MyFsu Portal quite a bit to go in and do some of your online classes and completing some of your coursework or submitting it in. So you're going to be in there quite a bit throughout the year, so it's something you want to definitely get familiar with and start really working on getting familiar with that area so that you're comfortable when the time comes that you actually do need to start utilizing it. Another thing that comes with your MyFsu Portal, of course, is your an email. Now that you are a Bulldog, you actually do have a Ferris State University email address, and I really encourage you to start utilizing that and checking that frequently. I'm sure you'll actually have some sort of email notification in there already if you've been admitted for quite some time. So you can go in there and start checking it. Financial aid will start communicating with you probably in January, is that what you had said?
Yep.
So you'll want to get in the habit of checking that email. It's a way that you can start communicating with different people across campus, communicating with different departments, and really starting to utilize that, because that will be the main area where we will send notifications to you once you are a student here and start taking classes. If you run into any issues signing up for your MyFsu Portal or run into any technology issues at all, we actually have our Technology Assistance Center here. We call them TAC across campus, and that's actually, you can contact them and they'll be able to assist you in any of those ways when you run into any hiccups with technology or hiccups with signing into your MyFsu Portal. If you forget your password, they can help you at that time as well. Now, I do say I have a question about how do we know what our email is. You will actually, when you log into your MyFsu Portal, it's going to give you a login ID. Usually it's a portion of your last name and then a number. That's actually going to be your email address with @ferris.edu attached to it. So for instance, mine is stuaj10@ferris.edu. So that first portion is my login information with that email address. So when you log into that, you'll be able to see that. And then of course, you'll see it in the email inbox area. Another area where our newly accepted students page focuses on is to get you signed up for summer orientation. The sign up starts actually in February. We'll send you notifications on that when the date gets closer as far as when you can actually start signing up online. And I really encourage you to start doing that early on in February or once it opens so that you can get the best session for you. The sessions are typically department specific or program specific. So for instance, if you're admitted into the College of Arts and Sciences, they're going to have specific dates that you'd come in June and July, June or July, for you to choose from. The main reason we do that is because when you're here at orientation, you're actually meeting with your academic advisors. So you'll be signing up for classes, meeting with them and talking about your degree, what different things you need to do to prepare for their courses, prepare for the degree. So definitely make sure you sign up for the correct date in there when you're setting up your orientation. Some other things that will happen at orientation, you'll be able to work with our financial aid office. They'll kind of go through and make sure that you've completed all those requirements. Of course, you'll want to start focusing on that after January, starting to get that that taken care of. But if you get to that point in orientation, you'll have another chance to talk with someone in financial aid to get that straightened out before the bill comes and make sure that everything's taken care of. You can also finalize housing and dining options and meet with various different people across campus within different departments to really see what areas you can get involved in, what things that you can participate in when you start taking classes here. Another great thing that happens at orientation, because you are coming at it at a specific time with students from your program, you'll be able to actually meet different people that you may see in your classes. You might be able to meet different people that you'll see that are going towards the same degree. So you'll want to definitely make sure you come. It's always an exciting time on campus. It's always an exciting time for our students coming in and the staff that are here because there's a new crowd coming onto campus and a lot of new things that come our way. So definitely make sure you sign up for that. Again, you'll receive a notification. Typically, we're going to send you an email as well as a letter in the mail or a postcard in the mail letting you know that the registration site is open. And you'll be able to do that right at the main Ferris homepage. There's a link right at the front that says sign up for orientation. It's typically just it is just a one-day event, so you'll get everything finalized. It's usually about 7 or 8 in the morning that it starts, and then it goes till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon with everything in the middle there. So we kind of get you through the whole process and make sure that you're ready and everything is set to go for you to start your classes in the fall semester. I see we have another question. The deadline for the acceptance fee, that's a great point. That's another thing that's on the newly admitted student page about the admissions acceptance fee or the enrollment fee that we have. That information is on that page as far as how you can pay for it and when it's due, but typically by May 1st is the deadline. We'd like you to have that information into us. We will work with you, so if you have any questions at all, feel free to contact our Office of Admissions. I'll actually have the number posted in a couple of slides from now, so you can write that down and give us a call if you have any questions specifically regarding that fee. So there's a lot of exciting things coming up. Again, I really am going to encourage you to utilize that newly admitted students page. Of course, as we go through this presentation, we'll all be talking about all the different things that are coming up, what deadlines may be approaching for specific departments, or what things you can do to prepare within those specific departments. But that newly admitted students page is definitely there to facilitate any questions that you may have. You're always welcome to contact us as well. Our contact information is up there. You can call us toll-free or directly through the numbers posted, and also send us emails. You can also follow us on Facebook or Twitter. We have a lot of our information up there that we put on deadlines or different things that may be approaching to kind of keep you in the know as far as what's coming up and what you need to be doing to fully prepare for it. I do want to kind of put a plug out there for our admitted student open houses. You can sign up for those on our admissions page. The registration is actually live for you to do that. That's actually another opportunity for you to meet with all of us. Will be in representation, or our departments will be in representation, as well as some other departments. But you can actually come and talk to us. We'll be in person. We have 3 events on campus as well as 3 events that are off campus. We have events that are taking place in Grand Rapids, Auburn Hills, as well as Saginaw. So you'll be able to go to a location over there and meet with us if you have any additional questions. So feel free to sign up for those. They happen in February and March. And then also, if you haven't signed up for a visit yet, I really encourage you to visit our campus, check out what we have to offer. We have various opportunities for you to visit our office or our campus, either in a daily campus visit or one of our Saturday dog day visits. But it really gives you an idea of what we have to offer, what we're all about, and how we can assist you in getting into your ultimate goal of obtaining your degree and starting your career. So if you guys don't have any other questions, we can go ahead and move into financial aid with Carla.
Thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate you guys being out there tonight. And as Jeff gets you all excited about being an admitted student, and what I'm going to do is tell you how to pay for it. So first off, we're going to have you file the FAFSA, and that's the free application for federal student aid. And you want to file that as soon after January 1st as you possibly can. Now, you can't do it ahead of time because it's based on the income information from 2012. So the government website doesn't even open up until after January 1st. And you want to go to the FAFSA.gov. Now, there is a www.fafsa.com. Stay away from that one because that is not the legitimate website to file your FAFSA. So again, you want to do it as soon after January 1st as you possibly can. You can use last year's information. If your parents are like me, they're probably not really filing their taxes until April, so that would be a little bit late for you. So go ahead, if the information is pretty much the same as 2011, go ahead and use 2011 and file that FAFSA so that you can get it done. Because the nice thing about that is then you know if there's any other documents that are going to be needed, you can make sure that the FAFSA was filed correctly. So the other reason that we encourage you to do it so early is there are some funds that are based on a first come, first served basis. So we want you to end up, trying to be included in that. Now, you may hear that sometimes people say March 1st is the deadline. Ferris does not have a definitive deadline for the first come, first serve. It's just whenever the money runs out. However, Michigan Competitive Scholarship, if you are an eligible Michigan Competitive recipient, you would have to file the FAFSA by March 1st. So that's where you might hear that deadline. But for us, it's really just file it as soon as you can. All right, once you file that FAFSA, you will want to start checking in, as Jeff talked about, the MyFsu and signing in so that you can check any student requirements that might be missing. And sometimes you file the FAFSA, you think it's okay, and maybe it's missing a signature, it's missing, some other piece of information that we need to complete your file. So you can check it early in February. We get our new regulations and we load them in our computer system, and so it's good to go normally by early February. So you may want to start checking, and again, we would encourage you to check your Ferris email, as Jeff talked about. You'll be familiar with it at that point in time. However, we also will be sending it to your personal email, just because we realize I'm sure you're coming to Ferris, you're an admitted student, but you may want to be on your personal email, and so that's why we're sending you that information as well. So once on the tracking requirements is what we call it, everything is satisfied, then you're going to be good to go. All right, it's possible that the government is going to select you for a process called verification. And that happens to about 1/3 of the students. It is a random selection. It doesn't mean you did anything incorrect on your FAFSA. The government just wants to be sure that everything that you put on the FAFSA matches what is on the federal 1040. So if you are selected for verification, when you file the FAFSA, what I would encourage you to do is check that you want to do what's a process called data retrieval. Financial aid is under the auspices of the Department of Education, whereas Internal Revenue Service is over all the 1040s and the filing of your income tax. So the data retrieval allows the Department of Education to match up the information that's on the Internal Revenue Service. So that's what data retrieval will do for you. All the information just gets transferred electronically. You don't have to do anything. It is possible sometimes that some students aren't able to do data retrieval, and if that's the case, then you have to request what's called a IRS tax transcript. We're not allowed in the financial aid office anymore to actually take a paper 1040. So the IRS tax transcript is what your parents actually sent to the Internal Revenue Service. And sometimes, we may request some other documents that you would need to end up submitting to us. So that's just your opportunity to go ahead and submit anything that we need at that point in time. In March is when we tentatively try and get our awards out. We like to be able to show you that, as early as possible what your award is going to be. When we create that award, it will include your grants and scholarships. It'll include work study if you selected it, and it'll include federal student loans. I know a lot of times students hear about their financial aid award and then they say, well, what about loans? Well, loans are included for any student on our financial aid award. But the grants and the scholarships, grants in particular, are some of the funding that's in the first come, first served basis. So that's why you want to be able to get that in there and file that FAFSA as early as possible. And when I mentioned about filing that FAFSA, we do have tutorials that are on our Ferris website that'll help you walk you through that. We also have tutorials on how to do the verification, how to do the IRS data retrieval. So if you don't know and you feel confused about it, by all means go to the website and at the Ferris homepage, and where Jeff showed you the admission tab was, financial aid is right below that. If you click on that, that'll take you to our homepage. And it'll show you all the different tutorials that are available to assist you in figuring out how to do this.
Now, Carla, I do want to ask, because you talk about scholarships. Now, a lot of you may have already received, because we were sending out the W&F scholarships, right?
Good one.
Do they have to, a lot of you may have already received the notification on your W&F scholarship. Is it a requirement that they have a FAFSA submitted with that, or should they still submit a FAFSA regardless if they don't think they're going to receive anything, or
Great
what is your
question, Jeff.
recommendation?
We encourage everyone to file a FAFSA just because you never know what the circumstances you're going to run into, and it is the document that does allow you to get other financial aid. But to answer your question, no, you do not have to file a FAFSA to get your Woodbridge and Ferris scholarship, which hopefully you've already received your letter. You're to admit the student. If you have qualified for it, you know about that. And in that same situation, what will happen in February, we will send you an email. And again, it'll go to your personal email and it'll go to your Ferris email telling you to go in through your MyFsu to accept that scholarship. So until you've actually accepted it, it's in an offered status. And so we want to know that you're for sure coming and we want you to accept it. And that was kind of practice to get you out there to accept an award. But no, you do not, a FAFSA is not required. That's a real good question. In order for the Woodbridge and Ferris scholarships because they're merit-based. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
And I do want to also point out too, with those scholarships, we do take your highest ACT or SAT score as well as GPA. So you still have time. Maybe if you received a certain level on the scholarship, and this information is on our website. If you go to the financial aid page, it shows you the different level of the scholarships. But if you're kind of borderline on the ACT and you retake it in this next couple months, definitely send that over to us so that we can get that reconsidered and get you that higher scholarship amount that you are now eligible for. Because it's really a great thing to retake that ACT anyway, especially if you've only taken it one time, because ACT is not only good for scholarship purposes, but they also use it for placement in a lot of your classes that you take here. So if maybe your math score is a little lower and you know you could do better, definitely retake that ACT, because if you get a higher score, that may mean you're in a higher level math to kind of get through your degree a little bit quicker, if you will. Another question that popped up though, Carla, is how would somebody receive a grant, and who would that be from, or who would give that grant?
Well, the grants come from either Ferris or the federal government. So we develop an awarding philosophy, which at this point we actually haven't determined for the class that's coming in for next fall. But it is based on called an expected family contribution, and that is the number that when you file the FAFSA, the government calculates. And even though it's EFC, and in financial aid talks in acronyms all the time, so that is something you'll have to get used to. We're always throwing out FAFSA, EFC, and different variety of acronyms. But even though it stands for expected family contribution, that doesn't necessarily mean the family is going to contribute that kind of money to, their cost of attendance. But yeah, that's the grants. Unfortunately, are either a supplemental educational opportunity grant that comes from the federal government, or a Ferris grant, which comes from institutionally. But they're usually set up pretty much on the same guidelines. So it is based on need. That is one thing we do know, because we try and allocate them in the best way we can. So it's a little hard to know whether you would qualify. You will know once you file the FAFSA and you get that expected family contribution. We pretty much set up that philosophy in February, so by that time we know what we're going to do, even though the awards don't go out until March. Good question. This is a view. We wanted you to see what that MyFsu looked like, where the financial aid is located. If you look at the upper right-hand side where it says financial aid awards, that is actually where you would accept your offered award that we would have out there. And we have other information there as well. So as Jeff talked about, you signing into your MyFsu, this is where all the financial aid information is housed. If you look below that, there is the student requirements. That is the critical piece that you want to be looking at, especially in February once you filed your FAFSA, because that's the one that'll show you FAFSA's received, it's all satisfied. Oops, nope, there's verification documents. We have some of them we don't. The one document in that verification that we require is the 2014-2015 verification form. And that is the form that is available on our financial aid website. So that doesn't actually come from the government. And that would be available after January 1st, and you would end up going out to our financial aid website, you click on a tab called Forms, and then drop down, there would be towards the bottom of the listing, and that would show you the verification for dependent student or verification for independent student. It's just a form you print and you fill out and send that in, and then hopefully if you've done data retrieval, we have the rest of the information. But this shows you where the financial aid information is. Once you go into that academic and services tab, click on that, this is what will come up. And so then you have some familiarity of where the financial aid information is. Well, we've talked about how you file the FAFSA and then you do the verification if you were selected. And if you were lucky enough not to be, you move right through the process. We do the award in March, hopefully, if everything is in place. Then we show you on that award notice what's considered a cost of attendance. The financial aid does a lot of things in averages. The billing office, they will bill you for real costs, real tuition, real room and board. But financial aid does a survey about every 2 years, all the students, and we try and find out what is the average cost that students are paying. Because we do take into account whether students are living in a resident hall or whether they're living off campus. So the way we calculate and the way you determine how much you're going to have to pay out of pocket is we have our cost of attendance. And that includes not only tuition and room and board and books, because we do include an average cost for books, but we also include travel because it's assumed that the student's going to go home several times during the semester. We include some miscellaneous expenses because we know that students are going to spend money on something. We're never quite sure what they spend it on, but we let them put that in the cost of attendance. So there are definitely some indirect costs that are included in that. So basically, it's the cost of attendance. And just for example, that might be, say it was $20,000 for 2 semesters. And your student was awarded $10,000 in financial aid. So what might you have to pay out of pocket? Well, it's the cost of attendance minus the financial aid is the out of pocket. However, if there were $2,000 of indirect costs in there, that means you would subtract that because those aren't the direct costs to Ferris. So you've already gotten all the financial aid, and then the question is, well, shoot, how do you cover the rest of it? So we have a couple of the backup plans. There are loans out there for parents can take out, and they're called a Parent Plus loan. And basically the parent takes it out in their name for the additional undergraduate costs, and they would be the ones responsible to repay it. If parents don't want to do that, then sometimes the student can take out what's called a private alternative loan. They're not through Ferris, they're through a bank. And we have a listing of several on our website that we review, we check them out and make sure they're really customer service friendly. So again, they're on our website. You could start to research those now, again, by going to the Ferris homepage and clicking on financial aid, and then there's another tab called loans. And you could look up private lenders and read about them so you had a sense of what might be expected. Typically, they're in the student's name, but they do require a credit-worthy cosigner. So they are a little bit different than the student loans the federal government gives, because those are given to the students without any credit check. There is just a certain amount that students will be awarded. So basically, the way it works then is the costs are out there. The bill will go out the end of July, and then the payment is due. And what's fairly new this year, this year was the first one, is that the business office will send those real costs, but then they offer you several different payment plans. There used to be just one, but now there's several different ones that you can pay 50% in August, 25% in September, 25% in October, or you could pay 25% in August, September, October, and November. So when the billing statement goes out at the end of July, you'll have an option to sign up for a payment plan. So not all of it is due before classes start. So you'll learn about that during orientation. They put you through that whole sequence and they'll give you all the different options that you can sign up for.
Another question, or another thing too, other scholarships. Are there other scholarships that students can apply for here at Ferris outside of the WNF? And then where else should they be looking for scholarship opportunities? Do you have any suggestions? Or?
Great question. On the Ferris homepage, there is a scholarship link, and what that is houses all the Ferris scholarships, not the WNF, because those are the merit-based, but the ones where an application is required. And actually, there's a brand new database opening up this year, so it won't be available. I think we're saying January 15th, I believe, is the new deadline or new opening date. And so before students, if they applied for more than one scholarship, they had to rewrite their essay repeatedly. This time, you can write one essay and click the different applications that you want that to be attached to, so it kind of saves you some time. Now you can go out and look at the scholarship website now and start to review it and see there's a category for incoming freshmen, and so those scholarships would be separate from the Woodbridge and Ferris. Typically, they're looked at and they're awarded maybe in June. So you might know about those a little bit later than the original award in March. And the other thing that's out there are outside, what we call outside scholarships. And those are available with different companies, different organizations list those out there, and they're changing all the time, because if we know about one, we will add it. They are separate from Ferris, but they do give you different opportunities. And truly, I've seen some of the checks come through, and students are receiving those outside scholarships. So somebody's getting them. So you just want to really check on that website to see what's available and what might interest you. Good question.
And another place to check too would be your guidance counselor. A lot of times your school's guidance counselor will get the notifications from the community or several different areas that they're going to encourage you to apply for. So definitely be checking with them as well to apply for as many scholarships as possible. The whole process sounds like it's getting a lot easier than when I was applying for scholarships, because you used to have to apply for every individual scholarship and then have to fill out an essay for each individual scholarship. So it sounds great and a lot easier on you to apply for it. So apply for as many as you can, because the more free money you can get, the happier you're going to be when you become an alumni of our university. There was a question that popped up. Asking about the bill, and you get the estimate for the year. There's the estimate out there. Do you pay that all at once, or is it split up, or how do they pay for it?
Great question. The bill that will come at the end of July is strictly for fall semester, and actually your financial aid applies by semester as well. So say your cost for room and board and your tuition maybe is $10,000 for fall, and you had $6,000 in financial aid. That $4,000 for just fall semester is what would be due. So then spring, you bill for the charges and your tuition charges, room and board, and the aid will apply, and you would pay your spring semester, even though it starts in January, we refer to it as spring semester. So you would pay that at that point in time. So it is split between the two semesters. And that kind of wraps up as far as financial aid. As far as the process, we certainly hope that that you have an understanding, but we encourage you, if you do not, please email it at this email address, finaid@ferris.edu. If you'd rather call and talk to someone directly, please give us a call, because we are here to help you. It's just, we understand the first time you go through the process can feel a little complicated, a little challenging, and so we want to be able to answer your questions and make it as smooth as possible. And also, we're constantly updating Facebook. So please like us on Facebook. We'll post messages, different things that are going on out there. So by all means, like us on Facebook, and that'll help you, kind of stay up to speed on what's going on as well. So.
And also, if they come onto campus, is there a way for them to meet with you throughout the week, meet in person? And what kind of things can they get completed here if they come and talk to you in person?
We don't have schedules that you have to, make a scheduled appointment. We have walk-ins every day from 8:30 to 4. So if you just come in our office and see the lady at the front desk, and she will, call one of us, and we'll invite you back to our office and, take care of whatever it is you need. If you need help with the FAFSA, we certainly can assist you in directing you where you need to go to do that, or any of the other information, or if you're missing documents. So absolutely, like I said, we want this process to go as smoothly as possible, so that, by the time you come up to school, you are good to go, and you know that financial aid is there. So by all means, if you're driving from a long distance and you want to be sure somebody's available, then please call the 2110 number and, direct to financial aid, and we can set up a specific appointment. But counselors are available every day, 5 days a week, from 8:30 to 4, to assist you and help you answer your questions. And like Jeff said, if there's any outside resources and you can't find them, we'll help you look for them, or help you answer your questions as best we can. So.
Excellent. We have another question that came in, and this was actually to make an appointment with someone in admissions. Definitely give us a call. I don't have the number up anymore, but it's 231-591-2000. That gets you to our admissions office, where we can actually set you up with an appointment. If you're wanting to come for maybe one of our daily visits, of course, and that's actually handled by an admissions recruiter, so you can talk to us at that time. You can feel free to sign up for one of those right online. But if you're wanting to have a sit-down appointment, give us a call at admissions, and we're more than happy to sit with you or set up that appointment that works best for you to discuss whatever questions you may have. But now we will actually move over to Noah. with the Center for Leadership Activities and Career Services.
Great, thanks so much. As I said earlier, my name is Noah. I'm a current student here at Ferris State, and I work at the CLACS office. That's what we call it, so the Center for Leadership Activities and Career Services, because that's a mouthful. And as you can see, we have 3 different centers. We have our Leadership, Volunteer, and Career Center, and essentially what we do is all student involvement. We make sure students have things to do. We do a lot of campus programming, give different opportunities, and I'll kind of go over all of those. So if you just want to go to the next slide. So one thing that we have every year is Leadership Week. And Leadership Week is a week of different things you can do to kind of embrace your leadership or kind of grow that. So this next spring, what we have coming up in February is Leadership Retreat, and we have 55 students right now looking to go, and it's an off-campus conference, leadership conference with leaders that are trying to train them in different leadership aspects. And it really is a great way to get involved on campus because you meet these other student leaders who are really helping promote things. You meet a lot of people this way, networking not only within Ferris and with the administrators, but then you get to like grow outside of your aspect and go into your career field too and start networking that way too. So it's a really great opportunity. We do that twice a year, once for the fall and the spring semester. And we're always changing it up, trying to give a different idea of how we can improve it for students. Additionally, we have 5-star events, and 5-star events are kind of a certified event on campus that every student goes to. It's really look forward to. And so we just, we're having some upcoming in the spring. We have one each month, and it's held in our Williams Auditorium, which holds, I think, close to 2,000 students. And it's a great opportunity for different keynote speakers to come in and talk about, most recently we've had speakers on diversity and the importance of networking with people that don't necessarily agree with you. And so that's a great opportunity for students to meet and greet with others, but also open your ideas up and open your mind up to others as well. Then we have these great things. They're called Registered Student Organizations. We call them RSOs for short. And we have over 230 on campus, and it's really exciting because all of these are student-run organizations. So students can be presidents, vice presidents, treasurers, secretaries, all these different roles within the organization. And it's a great opportunity because not only does it help you develop your leadership ability and things maybe you learned from Leadership Week, but it helps you develop an on-campus programming on your own and help you develop what you want to do after school. So even if you're, you could be a public relations, putting on big events and hosting events and helping you for your career, or you can be an engineering student who's hosting events on how to put things together. So you can do a number of things, and it's not limited by anything except your imagination. And so it's a great opportunity. We have the Greek life, we have club sports, we have I think over 20 club sports right now, men's lacrosse, women's rugby, all these different varieties. We have religious groups on campus, we have multicultural groups on campus, which is a great way. They've brought in a lot of diverse speakers about different issues. We've had professionals, we've had CEOs of companies come in and talk to us about how to be successful in starting your own business and being an entrepreneur. And then we have your special interest groups and political groups that can be anything. And so we have different groups on campus. We have a debate team, for instance. I'm on the debate team, and it's you argue with people, which is a great time. You win trophies for doing so, and you travel too. So I'll go down to Louisiana one weekend, and then I'll go to Chicago the next weekend. The great thing about this is the university pays for the travel in that regard, and they can get university funding for a lot of these events. So it's a great opportunity, and students who want to grow at Ferris will really take advantage of these organizations. They're all student-run. Additionally, we have 2 other organizations that are pretty prominent on campus. That's Entertainment Unlimited, or EUs we call them. They're the programming board, and they get allotted money every semester, and they put on these huge events. And so Ferris Fest is the largest on-campus concert every spring, and it's a great opportunity. You meet great people, you see your old friends, you get to listen to all these artists that come to campus. They do other things, like this Thursday we have Tom DeLuca, who's a hypnotist. He's coming to Williams Auditorium, and so they usually get some kids up there, and they don't, they're hypnotized, which is great. It's a great opportunity. It's always funny, and I just love going to any event Entertainment Unlimited puts on. Very closely put with them is student government. So student government, and we actually have a former president of student government right here, Byron, and I'm in student government myself, of course. And student government is the voice of students, and so there's a lot of opportunities there. A lot of community service takes place. A lot of policies may take place in student government, trying to get advocacy for students or different policies. If should there be a ban on smoking on campus, or should skateboards be allowed, and this sort of thing. So great opportunity, especially anyone who's policy oriented. Additionally, we do other things like host president or pancakes with the president, so you can go have pancakes with President Eisler, who is the president of the university, as well as the president of student government, and just kind of enjoy each other's companies, bring friends, and this is all free, of course, hosted by student government. They do a lot of great service projects. It's a great way to get involved and meet people from different majors. So I encourage every one of you to at least go to one student government meeting and see what it's all about. At the beginning of each year, we have Bulldog Bonanza, and so that's part of a series that we put on. It allows students to kind of meet with all of these 230 organizations. They're all invited to be there. There's also offices like the housing as well as the financial aid that go, and they kind of inform students about anything they need to know. And it's a great recruiting opportunity. So if you have questions for organizations, or if you're looking for mixed martial arts group on campus, you might find them there and ask them how to sign up and this sort of thing, or join the debate team. I'm kind of pushing for that. I'm kidding. But anyhow, looks like there's a question.
Yep.
Yep. So the question is, could students choose the artists that come to play at Ferris at the concerts? And Entertainment Unlimited does an excellent job of kind of representing the students. So they do a survey every year, and they kind of go by genre. They go genre, and then they kind of pick some popular artists. So I can't think of any artists off the top of my head. Do you remember any from last year, Byron?
Last year, the Crane Wives from Grand Rapids.
Yep.
It's a Motion City
Travis
soundtrack.
Porter, Motion City soundtrack.
It's coming back to me now. Yep, it was kind of a folkier acoustic style that year anyhow, but it was great. Local band, at least Crane Wives, was from Grand Rapids, an hour away. They're a great band. I go around and see them at different venues as well, so I was excited to see them come to Ferris. So yeah, we definitely have a voice in that, and certainly can voice that opinion once you get here. And so another aspect of Ferris that I think is unique and makes you stick out once you graduate, because that's why you're here, is to graduate and get a job, is the co-curricular transcript. So you'll learn more about this once you're on campus, but essentially what a co-curricular transcript is, it's just like a normal transcript. You have your grades that come, and it tells you how you did, and your grade point average, and these sort of things. This will log your involvement and experiences on campus. So if you're in an organization that volunteers, or you've done things like put on events, these sort of things, you can put that in your co-curricular transcript and show how you've been involved, and that allows you to kind of represent that you weren't just taking classes at Ferris, but you were actively involved, seeking out how to be a better student, and show that you're really excited to be, in the job or, interview that you're looking for after college. So,
Actually, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Why would a student want to get involved, or what are the benefits of being involved on campus? And what do you, it sounds like you guys are both really involved, or heavily involved on campus, or still are. What do you feel like you've benefited from personally in your involvement?
Sure. I know with my experience, I've had a couple interviews with companies. I'm a senior at Ferris, so I've kind of gone down that road. And what really gives me a great opportunity is the experience I get. So a lot of the time you will have an educational based resume that talks about what classes you had and how good you did in school, but employers really want you to have experience in what you're doing. So I'll have joined student government so that I can display that I was an active member of my community, and that shows like a caring for a group, and I think it shows that you'll be caring in that organization as well. Not only that, but you can put experiences that are directly related to your major. So public relations is what I do, and so I'll do press releases, I'll do promotions for student government, and that gives me the experience, and that gives me an opportunity to put on my portfolio and say, this is what I did, and this is why I'm already a step ahead. So I think it really puts a step ahead for most students.
That's so true. And what I realized after semi-graduating is the amount of job offers that I had, just because of the experience that I was involved in during my time here at Ferris. Being involved, like he said, you build that resume and you get that experience that employers want, and then you have that when you go out and you're searching for jobs. And I was amazed at the amount of, I think I had like over 6 job offers that I had to all turn down. But that's sort of a good problem to have. So definitely the experience that you get, and the reward afterwards of seeing that you put in hard work and people appreciate that and they want to hire you.
And so it looks like there's a question, how do you join student government? And that's a great question. If you decide that you can come to a dog day here at Ferris State, there's always a table for student government, and there's a table for the clacks as well, my office. And so you can go and ask them a little bit more about what it means to be part of student government. But it's a very simple process. You just have to go to 3 meetings and kind of experience it and see if you still like it. And then there will be an interview process. It's pretty informal. It just kind of make sure you're a right fit and that you want to be active on campus. And then it's as simple as that. Just go to a few meetings, be kind of inducted, and be familiar with what's going on in the process, and you can be an active member. And so moving on, we have our volunteer center. And so that's a great opportunity for a number of things. So a lot of employers are looking for people who are community minded and people who want to give up their time for something they're passionate about. And so that we offer those services here too. And the Volunteer Center, we have a few different services we offer. Safe Ride. So what Safe Ride is a free shuttle provided by Ferris along with a couple different individual offices. And what they do from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night from midnight to 2 a.m., this bus travels around, picks students up from local bars and brings students home. So we want to make sure students at Ferris are always safe and feel safe, and this is a service we provide to allow them to make sure they get home safely and don't have to worry about driving and these sorts of things. And so additionally, we have our TIPS training, or training for intervention procedures in training. So what that is a TIPS University is what it is, but their philosophy simply is that you're going to in college encounter situations with alcohol, and we want to make sure you're prepared for those. So we offer this training to students. Whether or not you choose to participate in alcohol, you should be prepared to help a friend who's maybe, being harmed from this. So this is a very easy 3-hour training that you go through. It allows you to kind of see what different, what a blood alcohol content is and what procedures you can go through to make sure you can start lowering that, to make sure the safety of your friends is okay. But this isn't only great for college, it's great when you're going to fields like hospitality, if you're going into any field with students at all, if you're going into higher education, this is great to know. If you're doing anything with public safety or criminal justice, great stuff to know because you're probably going to get trained on anyhow. It's great to have a background and show that you've been actively seeking this out anyhow. Was there a question?
Yep, there is a question. If a student's going into graphic design, are there specific organizations that they should look out for, or what would be a good fit for them to join? And that actually raises a good point about all programs. Are there usually organizations that they can get involved in that are linked to their degree or to their career pathway?
Yep, I would say almost every program at Ferris has a specific organization that's related to it. And it looks like there's actually 3 on campus related specifically to graphic design. And so that might be the AIGA, which is a student group on campus specifically for graphic design. You can always get a hold of them by logging into your MyFsu and going to OrgSync. All of the organizations are listed there. Additionally, there's the Gamma Epsilon Tau, which is a graphic design, which I believe is a professional fraternity. And that's a great organization as well. They're professional minded, so they're going to start helping you prepare for business, putting a portfolio together, that sort of thing. And then there's the Media Communication Association, or the MCA, another student group organization. They all have slightly different focuses, but you want to make sure you try them all out and check and see what their agenda and purpose is, and see which one fits best for you. And you can always join more than one organization, so join all 3 if you want. Okay, so we do other volunteer opportunities too. So a lot of the time when we do fundraisers, well, at least my concern is that this is going to a corporate sort of place where they decide where it's best. But what I really like about what Ferris does is we partner with United Way, and we do fundraising. And what United Way does is gives it right back to the community here at Ferris. So the Big Rapids, Mecosta, Osceola, surrounding area is given that money that we fundraise. So you see the direct results, and it's not given to a giant corporate that kind of puts it where you might not see it. So you get to see the benefits of what you've been working hard for. And so one thing we had this past semester that was extremely exciting, we had about 100 to 150 students do the Live United Color War. And so if you've ever heard of a color run, you'll love this because there's no 5K involved, but it's an obstacle course. So while you're running through this obstacle course, you're climbing over barrels and under and ducking and all these things, color packets that explode and go everywhere while you're like wearing a white shirt are just being thrown at you, and by the end you're like, have worn a white shirt, and you're just very colorful. It's a great opportunity, and you register for events like these, make a donation, and you're good to go. So events like these are really easy to participate in, and they show that you're looking to benefit the community as much as possible. One additional thing we have is the Gift of Life partnership. We just do education for this, so if you know what an organ donor is, you can sign up to be one. We offer the information in the pamphlets to become an organ donor. If you don't know how to or want to become one, it's great to show that you're kind of you care about those around you. Additionally, we have a number, hundreds of other opportunities you can volunteer for on campus. They don't have to be listed by our office. In fact, if you find a place in the Big Rapids Ferris community that you want to volunteer at, you just get it approved by our office and start adding volunteer hours to your co-curricular transcript to start logging those. So, and right now we have over 42,000 hours of community service logged by Ferris students, which is just excellent, and it shows that we're really caring about who we are.
No, I think you have a future participant in here.
Okay.
She wants to know when the color war takes place, or when that will happen.
The color war, this was new this year, so we did it in the fall. I don't know if it'll be back when spring actually hits. It has been a big hit, so we may do that, but it will be here in the fall. So it's going to be, I think, early October. So right before it gets cold out, we've got that going on. It's right after homecoming, or it's during homecoming week. So we'll talk a little bit more of that right now, I think. Not yet. So our last center is the Career Center, and so our Career Center does a number of things, and we have a Career Week. And so during this Career Week, we have actual employers come to campus, and they hold information sessions to see if there's students that are potentially ready to join their company. But they also hold kind of these speaking positions as well. So they'll hold workshops on what they're looking for, what it means to be a good employee, how to set up a resume. And these are from actual employers, so you kind of know you're getting this good information. If your professors have been telling you one thing, you think, well, they're not their employer. So you've actually got the primary source right here. Great opportunities. But then during this week, we have the Career Internship Fair. And so this year we had over 140 employers come to campus in our big Wink Arena, and they basically talk to students about the opportunities they have. But not only that, but a large number of them walked away with internships and job. They'd have come back the next day for job interviews. And a lot of people would be getting job internships and interviews and job offers once they graduate. So it's a great opportunity, very proactively seeking out Ferris students to kind of help you after graduation. And then during this week specifically, it's very largely marketed. However, we do it every day of the semester, is we allow you to come in and get your resume and cover letter critiqued by our office. We have a staff that's very good at that. They sit down and look at the words you put and see if those action words are good for your resume, if they're benefiting what you do or what you're trying to say. And then we also have kind of mock interviews. So one of our office staff will, if you're nervous about interviewing or you want to make sure you answer things correctly, we'll come up with a list of questions. We'll do kind of an interview setting like this in an office and ask you questions and see how you do, and do a positive critique and just kind of show you where you can improve. So it's a great opportunity to always build on your interpersonal skills and allow you to communicate more proactively, because the interview is often where you seal the deal on the job. Additionally, not only during Career Week do we have employers looking for Ferris students, but we have this thing called a Bulldog Career Link, and you can find that on our office page. And that allows you to see all the different employers looking for jobs, or potentially you, and see what their requirements are, and put a resume in and see if they give you a call back, or if they want to have an interview with you. And so we have other times where employers just come to campus. We've had this year John Deere and Caterpillar and Mitsubishi Motors come to campus and ask students questions, see if they're interested, and then they'll hold interviews, and oftentimes they'll get the jobs because they're coming here because they know Ferris's outstanding programs. And so the career services by our office are outstanding. They help you even after you've graduated and you're alumni. So if you're looking for a job afterwards, we can certainly help you with that as well. Okay, the annual events. So not only do we do all these things for you, but we have all these annual events that I kind of talked about, but I'll give you a little bit more briefly. So Bulldog Beginnings was when I talked about the beginning of the year when you do the Bulldog Bonanza, and that's where we have a whole week of festivities. So not only does the Bulldog Bonanza where you kind of meet all these student organizations, But we have Founders Day, which is this huge celebration out in some of our lawn area, which is, we have the president out there. We're celebrating that Ferris was founded, of course, and that we've got ice cream, hot dogs, giant inflatable like climbing obstacle courses. Is a great opportunity. We have keynote speakers come in. We do a great number of things to make sure you're acquainted with campus. There's a lot of local stores that'll have sales on. We have Meyer Madness, which if you're familiar with Meyer stores, they will basically put everything on sale. College students will come in there. There will be tons of vendors giving you free pizza. It's a great opportunity.
And locals get to take advantage of that too.
And
So
locals
I
do
shop
come,
at times.
yeah. If they can survive all the
Yes,
college students, it's
true.
a great opportunity for everyone. Sorority recruitment, ladies, it's a great opportunity. Our office deals a lot with that. So the Panhellenic Council, what they do is they basically, all the girls interested in Greek life, we'll get them together, show them all the different sororities, and then help them find the sorority that's right for them. So they'll kind of help you pick and choose. It's like the Harry Potter, the Gryffindor, they'll put the sorting hat on you and help you find which organization's best fitting your needs. Homecoming, we kind of talked about with the color war, which is great, but we also have a lot of alumni come back, and we have the big football game. We have a parade in downtown Big Rapids. Great opportunities there, and a lot of just fundraising for the Live United campaign for the Big Rapids community. The big event, Community Service Project, is hosted by the Ferris State Student Government. And so what they do is we usually have somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 students sign up for this. And they all sign up to volunteer to help clean up the community of Big Rapids. And so we have houses that maybe need painted or yards that need raked and spring cleaning. And students will just sign up to do this. They'll get community service hours for a full day, which is usually, I think, between 4 and 6 hours. And it really helps, show that we care about the Big Rapids community, but we also give an opportunity to have students be involved actively. And so I don't know if you can add anything to that, Byron. I haven't done that yet.
The big event is awesome. It's great to see. I was the director last year. The really cool thing to see is the camaraderie with everyone in the Big Rapids community, the community members, the staff and faculty here at Ferris, and the students all coming together for one cause to give back to the Big Rapids community and to help those who need it most. And we do different yard work activities, raking leaves, small paint jobs, tree trimming, cool things like that. And student government supplies all the tools and everything like that. And the students, they get volunteer hours. And the big give back, take back is that you get a free big event shirt, which are like kind of infamous on campus. And it's really cool to walk around with those. So really cool, really fun.
Thanks, Byron. And so we have that looking forward to. That's every April, so that's coming up. And then we have Ferris Fest, which I talked about, is that large outdoor concert that we put on every year. And there's other concerts too. There's another group on campus, NEMA. They're a Music Industry Management Association, if there's any majors out there for that. And they put on large concerts as well. It's a really great opportunity, of course. And then there's your Torchbearer Award ceremony. And so our office puts this on every year. There's a number of awards you can get. There is the actual Torchbearer Award, which kind of shows you as a leader on campus, a Bulldog leader that has shown inspiration to other students and what it means to be a Bulldog. But there's other things like the Volunteer Award. If you get 125 volunteer hours in one academic year, you can get the 125 award. That was to kind of sponsor our 125th anniversary just a couple of years ago. And a number of other awards that are recognized there. It's a great opportunity for all individuals to participate and it looks great on resumes and portfolios and this sort of thing. So
There was a question that came up, and it's talking about even as a freshman that's going to go back to the career fair.
Sure.
Are you encouraged to look for a job there, or should freshmen be going to these events, or what is your recommendation on that?
That's a great question. Earlier is better. It's always better. So if you can start networking now with a company that you really want to work for, or even if you're not sure about them, start getting information from them now and put a kind of a bug in their ear. They'll kind of recognize you later once you start to develop and you say, I came here passionate last year. Now look all these accomplishments I've had 1 or 2 years later. But the other thing is the career fairs kind of open up different networks for you. So even if that's not something like a job you want to pursue with a certain company, they might show you where else you might go. They could recommend you to conferences. They could do a lot of different things for you. So I encourage all students to go. I think it's a great opportunity. And you can always get a job on campus too. So there's a lot of opportunities off campus with internships, but Ferris offers internships like I'm doing myself with a job like this. So, yeah.
Excellent. And I do want to put, I mean, I have to say it. When I went there, I ended up with a lot of stress balls, pens, papers, and different things too. So there's a perk of going as a freshman. Not only can you network with the different employers, but you also get a lot of free stuff as well. So definitely recommend going to events with freebies. So thanks, Noah. We'll now move over to Byron to talk about the Office of Housing Residence Life.
All right, guys. My name is Byron Terrell-Williams again, and I'm here representing the Office of Housing and Residence Life. And what we're going to talk about today is your life on campus. Our slogan at the Office of Housing and Residence Life is "Move on, live on, stay on." The idea is that you, as incoming freshmen or transfer students, you'll be coming and living on campus. That's the live on. Move on. That's the move on. I'm sorry. Live on is that we want you to really take in the experience, to really get as much as you can from living on campus, and then as a result, you will decide to stay on. So basically, I'm going to be talking to you today about our different themed housings, your different options for living, some of the perks to living on campus, as well as some of my different experiences that I've had in the past 4.5 years with living on campus and the opportunities that have shown themselves. So, first up, we're going to talk about the many different options for on-campus living. If you're an incoming freshman, then you will most likely be staying in the traditional residence halls. And basically, what our traditional residence halls include, you have 2 rooms that are connected by a bathroom, creating a suite. And in your room, if you're in a single, you will have single furniture. The rooms are fully furnished, everything like that, and you will be sharing the bathroom with your suite mate, so there will be 2 of you to the bathroom. Otherwise, if you're in a double, there will be 4 of you in the bathroom, and again, those are fully furnished with bunk beds, dressers, wardrobes, desks, chairs, so you don't have to worry about bringing those specific things. The suite style living, I had a chance to live in the East Campus suites last year. Basically, it's what it sounds like. You'll have either 4 rooms in a suite, and you'll share 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, a living room with a dining bar area. Or if you have a double, you'll have 2 rooms, and again, you'll share a living room, kitchen, and dining bar area. With the apartment style living, that's exactly what it sounds like. You'll just be staying in an apartment with up to 4 others, and those are for our more upperclassmen individuals or those who may have families or have those needs. And we like to think that we have something that fits the needs for everyone, and that you can find a comfortable and safe living environment here on campus. So some of our different themed housings that we have on campus, we have different floors that are catered to different types of individuals. We have our health and wellness, and the big piece of that is that you won't find individuals who are partaking of, let's say, alcoholic beverages, who are of the appropriate age. With our honors community, I am actually a hall director for the honors community, and we have a ton of different initiatives and programs that are set up to make sure that you have a successful year. One of our major things, we have the honors mentor program, where you will be linked up with an upperclassman honor student who can sort of guide you through your experience with living on campus. They're very influential, and we've seen that our students are really apt to go to those mentors instead of their RAs, because sometimes they don't have those close connections with their RAs. So that's one of the perks for that in the honors communities. The first year experience, I had the pleasure of being an RA in the first year experience for 2 years, and it's a great experience to sort of introduce students who are peppy, fun, loud, want to get involved early on. It kind of gets you acclimated to campus really, really quickly. And that experience, that program is located in the Clark Hall, first year experience hall, where you will be required to do different community service and volunteer opportunities, where you'll be required to go to a certain number of different events. You'll be in some cases required to put on certain events. You'll be required to join certain organizations, things like that. It's a really fun, cool, live environment, and it's perfect for my type of personality. And so if that's something that you're interested in, I definitely encourage you to apply for that. Our graphic design floor, I remember we had someone who was from graphic design We have a floor, we actually have a building, Taggart Hall, that is geared towards our graphic design students. And basically we have different amenities available in those residence halls for graphic design students, such as different, we have computer lab, as well as a lab downstairs for students who want to work on projects and different things like that. I highly recommend that if you're in graphic design, that you live in Taggart Hall, just because the type of program that it is, sometimes it can be a little stressful. Sometimes you can have a lot of homework and things like that. And when you're around others who are going through those same things, who can remind you, who can work with you, help you on different projects, it's good to have that help. So what's included? The residence halls offer a ton of different amenities and things that are for you. Some of the major ones, the fully furnished rooms, as I discussed before, other utilities, not having to worry about paying those things if you were living off campus, cable and internet, and so much more. Some of the awesome things about living on campus is definitely the safety, the security, the community, the opportunity that you have to get involved, and it being right there in front of your face. Those are definitely some of the things that we include. But for more information, definitely feel free to check out our website and go there for any specific things that you might want to know about. We have a pretty good breakdown on our website at ferris.edu/housing.
There was a question about, or wanting to just confirm that you said they don't have to bring a desk and a chair. And if that's the case, they would let you deserve a hug, they said. Because I'm assuming they didn't want to have to bring theirs. Can you go over again what is included when you say in furnished rooms? What does that entail for a student moving in? What kind of things should they maybe plan on bringing on their own?
Okay. Yeah, the standard double room setup comes with bunk beds with the mattresses included, as well as the frames. One 6-drawer dresser, I want to say, 2 wardrobes with hanging space at the top, and then 2 additional drawers at the bottom. 2 desks with, it's kind of like this thing where you can put picture frames, or you can put your TV on it. That comes on the top of the desk, kind of like a shelf. And 2 chairs will also be included. So those are things that you don't have to bring, but some people end up bringing them just because they want to. But yeah, you can give me a hug later.
And what other things would you recommend a student to bring with them of their own, I guess?
Yeah, we actually have this awesome graphic that's on our website, ferris.edu/housing. If you go to the frequently asked drop down tab at the top and go to what should I bring to campus, it's actually like our golden ticket that we give out during orientation, because students, I even remember when I was getting ready to come to Ferris and not knowing what to bring, so I just brought everything. And this sheet, it's not telling you what exactly you have to bring, but it's definitely giving you some helpful tips on things to bring. Some of our most some of the things that students forget the most, but that they need the most. There we go. Definitely an Ethernet cord, because the Wi-Fi connection, most of our halls have them, but not all halls have them, but we still recommend that you bring that, just in case that's a little wavy. Refrigerators cannot be more than 3.6 cubic feet. And so just make sure you're looking out for that. 4.6 actually. Microwaves can't be more than 360 watts. And just those things. And our beds are not extra long. There's like some rumor or something that goes around, and we get that like all the time during the sessions, that our beds are extra long. I guess all the other universities, their beds are extra long. The sheets are not extra long, so you can tell your parents not to get the extra long, and they can breathe a little. So, but if you go to our website, ferris.edu/housing, there's a graphic under the frequently asked questions drop down, and it says what should I bring or what to bring, and that will be a great help to you.
And the golden question was asked too: are freshmen allowed to have cars on campus?
Yes, freshmen, you are allowed to have your vehicles. What you'll have to do is register through the Department of Public Safety. In your MyFsu, if you go under the University Life tab, also in that tab you'll find the Department of Public Safety channel. and the My Housing channel will be on your right. If you register your vehicle in there, but you can't do that until you get your housing. So after you register for your housing and you know where you're going to live, then you'll register your vehicle and be assigned into a lot. And then you'll pick up your parking permit and everything like that and go from there. But yes, you can bring a vehicle.
Looks like there's another question. You deserve a hug for letting us have a car as well.
Thank you. I love hugs. Actually, I do love hugs. So.
And I just want to point out too, for signing up for your housing, that admitted student website, to kind of plug that again, you can actually access the steps on how to pick your room, pick your roommate, all those different things right on there. So definitely utilize that site that I showed you earlier, because it's going to walk you through all those steps so you don't have to worry about when am I supposed to do it, how do I do it. Just follow along on those steps and it'll walk you through that whole process.
Well, another thing you asked earlier was the move-in date. If classes start on the 25th, which is a Monday, usually the residence halls will open on that Friday, so that would be August 22nd. And if you're in the honors program, then you would move in a day before the general move-in date, so you would be moving in on August 21st if you're in honors.
Perfect.
Moving on, staying on campus, we have a ton of reasons why you should stay on campus. Again, the community, the amenities, the culture, but we also have some financial incentives to keep you here on campus. When you become sophomore students and get the certain amount of credits, we have the sophomore incentive and the junior-senior incentive. Basically, the sophomore incentive, let me make it as plain as possible. If you're in a double room, you will be able to pay whatever the price is for a private room, the amount that is taken out from the private that you would pay if you weren't. I don't think I'm making this.
Well, that's the difference. What's
The
discounted.
difference, you don't have to pay that. It makes more sense on our website, I promise. If you go to ferris.edu/housing, it's kind of hard to explain.
And
But
just Byron, too, you're a sophomore once you've earned 26 credits, so that's what distinguishes that.
and so maybe I can try to, if you're a sophomore and you want a private room, you get it for the price of a double room. So it's kind of like you're still getting that. But if you want a private, then whatever that difference was from the double, that would be the same difference from the private. I think. Hopefully y'all got that.
But that information is on the website.
It's on the website, I promise.
Check that when that time comes. Ready for the next one?
Yeah. So some of the perks of living on campus, which I've sort of covered already, the convenience. I think that me living on campus for the past 4.5 years, it's very convenient. I don't have to drive to my classes. I don't have to waste gas money. I'm walking distance from my professors, from my classes, from the dining halls, from the different academic services and TIMI services, and so it's just that convenience of living on campus. Safety and security. Some of the awesome things that we offer in the residence halls. We have the 24-hour desk services that are available to students. And we find a lot of times that students will get bored in their rooms really late at night, and we have a desk that's open 24/7. And so they'll just go down to the desk and just chat with the DSAs and just make friends that way. We also have card swipe access doors on all residence halls, so you cannot enter into a residence hall if you're not a resident of that hall or if you do not have card access to that hall. And so that definitely increases the safety and security of our residents, and we're very proud of that. All-inclusive pricing, again, that's just talking about all of the amenities that come with living on campus and living in the residence halls. When you live in the residence halls, you get different equipment that you can check out from the front desk, different board games. We have pool tables, ping pong tables, air hockey tables in some of our lobbies. And so all of those things are things that you can check out at the front desk, as well as your internet, free cable, and those different things. The community, I personally think that there's nothing like living on campus and really getting that full college experience, because you see it a lot where people will go to college and just get the degree. But I think living on campus really does force you in a way to kind of really get that experience, to get involved, to do more with your degree than just going to a class, but to really go out and get that experience. I know personally, my hall director, I'm a hall director now, but 4.5 years ago, my hall director actually brought out the best in me and saw something in me and actually got me involved. And so I definitely encourage you guys to live on campus, not because I'm a hall director, but because I've seen firsthand how it can change your life and how you can grow from just someone who you look up to or someone who's in the residence hall and how they can shape your life. Academic support. In the residence halls, we have study rooms, we have study groups. We have, usually in a residence hall, you'll have students who are good in an area. And since they're in the residence hall, they usually offer their service to you. And so you're building a network, and at the same time, you're getting the help that you need in the different classes that you may need that help in. Also, we have the different academic supports around campus. We have the tutoring center, the writing center. We have different study groups around campus. SLA, which is Structured Learning Assistance. I've never had an SLA class, but it's basically a setup where you're put in a class that may have a high failure rate, we'll say. And so kind of as a proactive tool, they'll make it a requirement if you're below a certain grade, that you have to go to those just to keep up with your academics and things like that. So again, there's a ton of things, tons of perks to living on campus. I highly encourage it, and it's changed my life, and it'll change yours too.
There was a question about, does Ferris have an on-campus ambulance service?
On-campus ambulance service, we have the Department of Public Safety, and we also have a Berkham Health Center. I wouldn't say that it's an ambulance, but those are definitely services that are available in emergency situations, who we can contact, and they will act accordingly.
Yep, and the Mecosta County Medical Center is really just a couple blocks right from campus, so that of course does have an ambulance service. So if there is a real emergency that you need to be rushed to the hospital or situation that takes place, they respond to the university as well. But the Berkham Health Center is a great location. It's a walk-in clinic that you can get all of your needs or your health needs or different things taken care of in that area. And there's more information on that on our website as well about the hours and the services that they have to provide. So definitely check that out. I believe that's actually the last slide. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited about the fall. So I'm sure you guys are asking the questions, is it yet? Is it the fall yet? There is a lot of exciting things coming up, a lot of exciting things both probably for you as you're completing your senior year or completing the last step of your high school career and moving into the next step of your collegiate experience. So there's a lot of excitement going on for you as well as for us here on campus as we're preparing for you to come here. But throughout the whole process, if you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us at any point. That toll-free number, or even that direct number there, will actually is the main call center here on campus, and they can contact you to any of these departments or our departments, contact you to any individual. So feel free to keep that number handy so that if you run into any hiccups or you have any questions that come up along the way, don't hesitate to call us. We'd be more than happy to answer that for you. We do have another question though for you, Byron. Do we have keys for the dorm rooms?
Yes, in the residence halls, basically the ID that you get during orientation or before, I believe some students can get their ID before, you'll have your card swipe access to get into the building, as well as when you check into the room, you'll be giving a key and a laundry card. So that's another perk, free laundry.
Excellent. So there aren't any other questions today, and if you, again, think of any questions after today, feel free to reach out to us either by email or give us a call. We'd be happy to help you out or answer any questions that you may have. But we look forward to you coming here in the fall, and especially look forward to you coming to orientation. Thanks again for participating, and I hope you have a great night.